Welcome back everyone, I'm so glad so many of you decided to join us for this lecture series. Well, I say so many when I can probably count you on a single hand, but still, it's great to have you here, because this week we're taking a look at another important figure from Terraria. Someone who can build just about anything and got herself into some pretty hot water for just that. This time we will be discussing the mechanic. Appearing as a relatively youthful woman, there is no reason to believe that the mechanic is older than she appears, due to her lack of apparent magical interaction. As with many Terrarians, the mechanic is known by a wide variety of names, included but not limited to Ella, Nancy, Ginger, Susanna, and Jenny. Again, like most Terrarians, she is most commonly referred to in reference to her occupation, the mechanic. Not a large amount is known of the mechanic, but it is known that she is highly skilled in all engineering and mechanical feats, and will sell her technologically advanced wares to the people of Terraria, assisting them with their implementation. This skill eventually led to her being captured and forced to use her abilities to rebuild the fallen Great Old One in mechanical form. Much of a mechanic's past prior to her actions in the dungeon continue to remain unknown. However, it may be safe to assume that she is not natively from the area in which the champion of Terraria operates, and is in fact from a much more advanced region of Terraria, judging by her knowledge of technology far beyond most of what is typically available. It is told that, for her skill in the construction of complex mechanical constructs, the mechanic was abducted and imprisoned in the dungeon by the Old Man, otherwise known as the Clothier, and forced by the lunatic cultists to rebuild their fallen god Cthulhu with mechanical parts. The mechanic was able to make significant progress on the task set before her, constructing 3 sets of mechanical abominations that would have acted as replacements for Cthulhu's skeleton, eyes, and a third unknown component, possibly intestines, that became the Destroyer. However, she was inevitably rescued by the champion of Terraria as she worked on the mechanical brain, which as of yet remains unfinished. Upon rejoining the Terrarian community, the mechanic goes on to assist the champion with constructing anything they may require in order to continue fighting the dark forces, selling her wares and continually advocating the need for more wires. It would appear that her time imprisoned within the dungeon had a greater impact than it may initially appear, as not only does she dislike underground environments due to a traumatic experience, but she has a deep loathing for the Clothier, who it is said imprisoned her when he himself was indoctrinated under Skeletron's curse. There also appears to be some animosity between the mechanic and the nurse, with the merchant referring to the pair arguing. However, the reason for this friction remains mostly unknown. Contrary to it seeming as though she despises everyone she lives with, the mechanic does show affection towards the goblin tinkerer, possibly because he is similarly skilled in mechanical endeavours. While having a like-minded person in her midst may be part of it, the reason for her interest in him may also be because he simply reminds her of her homeland from which she was taken. Surprisingly enough, there appears to be more firm information about the mechanic and her endeavours than there are legends. However, it's highly likely that there are as yet untold stories about her past and homeland, and maybe even some tall tales that may end up contradicting the official story. While on the face of it the mechanic may seem an unimposing figure, notable only for being found bound and tied in the dungeon, the fact that she possesses technology beyond what is commonly found in Terraria raises all kinds of questions in itself, but added to that, the fact that she was effectively enslaved in order to resurrect a godly being just goes to show how advanced and potentially unnatural her skills are. However, until more information can be uncovered about her, confirming anything special about her past, her notoriety must be logged as merely low. It's a shame that more information isn't available for exactly how the mechanic knows how to do everything she can, because when you take a closer look at her, she really does turn out to be some kind of mystery wrapped in an enigma dressed in overalls. No matter, I'm sure you all have your own personal speculations about where she comes from and where she learned all her special skills, so please let me know about them. Also, please let all your friends know about this lecture series. I'd hate for it to be cancelled by the faculty for lack of members when it's only just started. Other than that, please have a great day, and I will hopefully see you next week at our regularly scheduled artifacts lecture.